Fever, away!
Good evening, gamers, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Critscast. Tonight, we are casting the Respawn League Australia-New Zealand Highlander Season 10 Premier Division Semifinal. My name is the Lampshade22, or Snazzy, depending who you talk to. And with me tonight is the wonderful, beautiful Shakey. Now, these two Rosses, they're both extremely fat with strength. And good news, they've done all their picks and bans for all the maps, so we can run through them real quick as well. Give people a taste of what's to come. Rascals banning Borneo right off the bat. Musos followed up with a ban on Asheville of their own. And then Rascals picked Upward, so that's the first map we'll be playing tonight. Musos then picked Warmtick and banned Product at the same time. So that'll be the Koth map tonight will be Warmtick. And the final map will be Cornwater, picked by Rascals as the one to round it out as the tiebreaker. That's two payload maps, pretty standard, and one Koth. You can follow us on that YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. You'll be able to keep up with us. There's also the Twitter. There's also a Discord where you can talk to other like-minded individuals of the Team Fortress variety. And there's also merch. We're looking like we're going live, ladies and gentlemen. So one last time to let you stay in the loop. It is the Highlander Season 10 Premier Semifinal. Respawn League, Rascals and Musos. The setup is beginning. We're looking forward to this one. Shakey, what are you seeing with this setup? Is it all pretty standard? It looks like it so far. I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it's gonna, in no uncertain terms, this is going to be a sack. Rascals are infamous for being very good at sacking. They love to run all the gimmicks, all the strategies, jetpack power and whatnot. We're going to be seeing all the sack attempts. Interestingly though, I think Flo is going to be a priority pick. Like, that man is going to single-handedly keep his entire team's defense alive. So my first guess is that they're going to try sack on the side of it's going to be Kalski defending here, but similar comments. They're going to try either sack for Kalski or a force onto JD. That's, I think, what they're going to be looking for.
It sounds like pretty standard sort of stuff.
Oh, and we finally see an unpause after
Holy cow.
Millennium. Both teams unpausing. JD just opting playing the standard spot. I'm going to be seeing if Bonk, Raylan, Centaur and Bird are going to be able to get anything of a sack wave attempt.
I'm just reconnecting to fix mine HUD.
Oh, and they get in. They get the force immediately. Wow, so many players. I say that. And I don't know if the STV is lying to me, but I saw JD Ubered, but there's an STV message saying that he passed away. So,
yeah, I saw the same thing. I was just... My brow is furrowed, bro.
Was alive and well now, but I think either way, they either got the drop or the force onto him. That's going to make it a lot easier to push in. Really good sack attempt, and they're just being ruthless now. I mean, Bonk's just aggressively trading in, and they're just going to get so much ground here off the back of that. I think JD didn't drop. He had his Uber the whole time. Really good job here from Omni to push Bonk into the corner in this Uber trade. But he gets Maz. He gets so many picks leading at JD as well. Oh, no, he's not. The Red Pyro here Omni coming to save his medic as they just get out. Yeah. NG medic, that's like the ideal retreat out of first right there.
Yeah, absolutely. We see Zach picking up that sniper. Might give them a bit of opportunity to sort of slow down the push here, let their own sniper get some room. We just saw those where those pauses actually happened. So Kalski up in that sort of house area up on that balcony, just scoping in, trying to get something, see what he can make happen. Just a bit of a grindy fight so far. Lizard Wizard down really low in that tunnel area. We do see Kalski get a fat shot directly on a Bonk, which will probably slow them down as they try to push over the hill. But there's players all over the shop, man. It's all a bit messy right now. We see Lev go in for a bit of a sack. I think he dies. And now they're sort of pushing really deep through that lower area. Toko's right there on the cart, pushing forward with that massive damage. There's a tiny bit of ad. JD does have 100%, while Tal is only rocking about 80 odd. But with Bonk pushing in pretty aggressively, he gets damaged. He backs off a little bit. And I think we're going to see an even Uber scenario here. So it'll be on the blue team to push straight on into second.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good initial hold from, there's just actually an Uber trade coming out here. Omni, the Pyro Solo, it's a very popular choice on red. Literally getting a flash, I'm not sure why, but yeah, both teams are going to be backing out in the post-Uber scenario. And oh my god, Raylan, he just like bombs in and he gets Maz for his troubles. Bird nearly just walked in and WM1 JD, really hate to see it. And off the back of that, it's going to be Rascals capturing second.
Yeah, Zach in behind though on that second area though. I don't think they know he's there just yet. So he might be able to get away with some variety of frat. But as it is, they've set up on third. They've got Typo in that sort of like forward position. I've lied to you, he's just backed off. And with Tokos pushing forward, exactly the right time for him. Zach goes in for his frag, does not make it happen. Bonk jumps right on in. Looks like a nice big sack wave. They clean up the gun, but that's about it. And I think JD took a lot of damage as well. He is coming back forward. He managed to collect that pack. So they're just grinding it forward so far. They're moving that the cart, sorry, not part, straight on up the ramp there. They're sort of up to that first like turning back point, if that makes sense. But it's just going to be a bit of scrappy fighting. Lev taking out the engineer in that lower area. Now that we've got a bit of a reset, what do you thinking the best way to push this is if you're the blue team?
Oh, it's definitely sacks. Yeah. Oh, as we see an immediate Uber trade come out, yeah, it's like often just so easy to get in on Demo Man. You get your spider, sap the gun, you saw you distract or whatever, and yep, just kind of rush the medic as best you can. I think Rascals are electing to Uber trade. I think they are quite comfortable with Uber trading, but yep. The other thing I would say is the crucial pick on this point is Kalski. That Cypher sightline is like so godly from like the kind of shithouse area into the house where like blue push from. Yeah, you're not going to push until he is down unless you commit your Uber charge like they just did.
Yeah, and with that Uber charge, I mean, when they pushed in, things didn't really go out well for them. I mean, they lost their demo in the middle of the fight. But they are grinding it further and further forward now. They've beaten a few players here, there, and everywhere. And they're actually managing to push straight on forward. They pushed the red team straight back into that last area. Raylan's in behind. He cleans up Kalski nice and early, which might give them the entry that they're looking for. Bonk and his medic going up through that stair area. They use their Uber. They get a massive, massive Uber onto the red team there, who's had to flash quite a few times, but their Pyro's there to meet him. It's going to slow down that Uber. It's going to totally stuff it into a corner. We do see Zach cleaning up a player in the back end on the cart there. So yeah, it's like, it's pretty cool that they've been able to sort of grind this forward with no real especially flashy fight. But speaking of which, the game comes back live. We did see that medic go down. You're exactly right. And we're just going to be looking at that massive, massive ad here.
I was about to drop my mic there. Tal hit a very nice to get out of like that little corridor and into the open space. And last but Kalski there to shut down that sight line for his sniper. As we normally see, the snipers are usually the ones to clean up these retreating players. Yeah, just looks like Musos is just going to be establishing their holding tiles. It's really strong. Their flank looks like they're going to be holding on this top area while the combo holds like the back room.
Yeah, and this is probably like where Musos are going to be slowing this one down, because so far things like they've been holding, they've been delaying, but it hasn't been held at like a massive, you know, time there. So, I mean, with 4:46 to get up to that third point, this is probably where they're going to be trying to make up time for, I guess, lackluster defense earlier. But I don't even want to call it that because they haven't been doing it badly.
Yeah, oh, that was such a missed opportunity. Flo got a pick onto Spurkle, but they couldn't really capitalize off the back of that. I mean, the gun is literally half the equation of the hold. As you see, Zach, huge stabs onto some Tokos. That's going to eliminate any form of cart pressure if they do decide to push. Centaur gets the gun, and I was just about to comment before, Kalski had such a good sight line onto Tal, but Tal managed to hide away like and tuck around in the corner just in the nick of time.
I tell you, you get 9 players into a server, you start playing with fire, you know, and as I say it, they actually unpause. So we're back in the game, ladies and gentlemen. Not really looking at anything happening too urgently. We do see Bonk and Tal actually coming through with their Uber, but the Pyro's there to meet them. They've slowed them down. Kalski actually takes out Flo on the tail end of that as well, giving them a bit of an ad on the defense side. Do you see Centaur getting in there, though?
Remove this disgusting. Sorry, I just have to say, remove this disgusting mechanic. He just like pressed one button in the door and he denied the whole Uber. I mean, like, come on, like, really?
Look, man, you're not going to get me into a pissing match over Pyro. I totally agree with you, man. It's ridiculous. But it is what it is. That's you play the hand you dealt, don't you?
Yeah, I think Rascals are attempting to try and get any form of pressure they can in the tracks area. It's not going to be great. What on earth? Kowski has such a good sideline on the flow, completely uncontested, and I think they're just going to be grouping up. On the side of blue, around this corner, they're going to be just healing up and planning out what they're going to do next. Hopefully Knockout can really shut down by some sort of broken mechanic introduced into this game.
Look, the mechanic's been around forever, everyone knows it's there. Stop pushing into Pyros if you don't expect to do it. But, oh my god! Maz gets a fat drop! That's unreal. Oh, dude. The demo sent the stickies directly into the med. That's so wild.
I really hate to see it. That's just so lethal. Like, you talk about like punishing people for like taking low ground Uber trades, and then you talk about Maz's drop. Jesus. We didn't even discuss that much. Like Maz's the impact of like Maz is trying to have like as a substitute for Lay. As we say that, a lot of pressure coming downstairs, and Zach again, he gets a chain step onto Tokos and to Flow, whilst this enemy combo, sorry, trying to pressure from lower.
Yeah, they pressured from low and they managed to clean up the gun. The gun's only just coming back up now, though. And they have cleaned up Kowski nice and early into this fight as well, so they're looking like they really want to push. Especially with that gun down, it makes perfect sense. The Uber gets used on the defending team. They're getting onto that cart. Is there anything to return to them? Tal does have Uber as far as I can tell. So maybe just getting him down off that high ground might be the strategy here. They look like they're going straight through that lower area, cutting up through the stairs immediately to the left, but they're just a smidge too late. There's people already back up into that top area. They still have their Uber on the cart here, though, which gives them so much room to maneuver. The Uber gets used. They've cleaned up the pyro nice and early, so they can't get stuffed up there. It's actually a pretty good fight for them.
That was so dangerous. Tal just in the open. I think Flo, Kowski was sideline room the whole time, and the hold is slowly but surely coming apart. Centaur getting a stab onto Maz, and I think the cap, it's getting so close. I want to see if Rascals will just cap it out. Zach and the flank of Musos are coming in clutch, getting just a few frags here and there. I think they're probably barely going to be able to clutch this by the skin of their teeth.
That's unreal, that hole. The cart is so close.
I mean, it was just that silent, like, pressure. Like, you really don't appreciate how close the cart is until, like, you hear the announcer say, like, well, like, those kind of red alarm bells pop off. But yeah, it was just a ×1, just that silent threat creeping up.
Yeah, it puts them in a really good spot when you're attacking to have the cart that close. They do lose their med in the midst of all that fighting just there, which is going to slow them down a little bit more. The timer is running for them, though, so they need to try to get this done soonish if they want to maintain like a really good time here.
Really
how long's it been?
Play. It's been 4 minutes and 46 seconds, so pretty good up to now. But yeah, this last point has been quite the it's been quite the kind of iron dome or stronghold on the side of Musos. Really questionable play to like go out into the open on the side of Rascals, but so that's all a sunk cost as of now. They're trying to do that strategy before of just pressuring from tracks. I don't know how Bonk is just allowed to spam for so... He was on like 90 health for so long. He finally gets cleaned up by Kowski. But yeah, that pressure needs to be shut down. I guess they got off like scot-free this time, but yeah. What we're seeing here is Rascals favouring pressure from Bonk to try and break these holds rather than relying on gimmicks or maybe pick class plays. That's not to discredit their pick classes. They've been doing well, but I don't think they've been doing like anything spectacular to kind of break these stalemates. They've just been like kind of silent forces in the background per se.
Yeah, I agree with you. We haven't really seen anything especially flashy out of the pick class. I mean, there's been a few chain stabs, but really nothing that's had like massive consequence. The Uber does come through. They almost collect Omni, but he gets used on. I really got caught on that one. He gets used on at the last safe moment to be able to use his air blast to totally stuff up the Uber yet again. Pyro was a great class. Center on the cart though, he's actually moving it really far forward. But he's going to have to back off now. So it's going to be another bit of a reset, I believe. Which, yeah, I mean, you've got me sobbing at this point, just sobbing.
Oh, but Flo gets the crack shot onto JD. You really hate to see you drop your guard for 1 second, and your med just gets what's seemingly a Lamau box. He seemingly falls to a Lamau box pick. So many combo players falling for the side of Musos. Maz gets a clutch trap onto Bird and Turret. That's going to be the pushing power taken right out of Rascals, and I think we're going to see the hold getting re-established here. I mean, Blue are finally like getting into tiles, leaving some sort of ground, but no, they just lose it immediately. They're just all trying to coalesce like outside third, and they've only got 1 minute and 29 seconds to cap it.
They do have a massive 60% Uber ad though, which they've used straight up into that tiles area. Cleaned up 3 players, JD, Maz, Kalski, and Omni, all immediately. Also Zach. Flo gets a snipe onto Spurkle while they're at it as well. It's only 3 players, 2 players left alive on the side of the defense. There is 1 player left alive. He's very low health, and I think, oh yeah, that's it. That is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. So with 13 minutes and 41, the time to beat has been set.
That's like not ideal if I'm going to speak bluntly. I don't think there's any point in fluffing that. 30 minutes 41 is like completely horrendous. I guess last is just not something that either team can push at this rate. It's like a recurring theme though. I remember Rascals held like our team on Badwater last. So yeah, I guess the issue is that it's just like a momentum based like thing to be able to push last. Like I think there's an expectation that it's going to take a while to push last, but like, I mean, if it's taking like double the amount of time to push last compared to like the total sum of every other point before last, it's not a good sign leading into this. I know that like Musos especially are like really like lightning quick. Like they average like 7-8 minute times. So I want to see if they can recreate the magic here. But yeah, not looking good on the side of Rascals.
Yeah, 13 minutes and 40 is not a fantastic time, but I mean they were doing so well up until that last bit there. So we'll just have to see how they can do with defending here. Maybe they can make up the time in the early points as we go live. Nothing really to talk about so far. We do see Zach worming his way on in. He's being caught. He does collect Bonk though, which is going to give them a pretty good advantage here. Mazzy with a nice big sack. He cleans up Flo as well. Those 2 players alone might give them what they need to sort of push out here, especially having that sniper down. Their med has come forward. JD up on that left side, trying to make things happen. Kalski getting up on the rock, trying to find an angle, make some things happen. Nothing really happening so far, except for another frag onto Bonk, just as I'm saying it. I should just keep saying nothing's happening, then things happen.
Yeah, as you say that, Garston's Curse, the Uber trade comes out. But Bird's just like perfectly doing this whole Uber. Liz is trying to get in on a post Uber frag. Gets shut down by Topos. Really hate to see these soldiers getting air stalls. You'll see, yeah, post Uber fight really scrappy. Omni, Maz picking up frags. Spencer pick falling, and I think that's going to be the end of the Rascals hold. They get out Scott and Bonk. He gets a sneaky trap onto JD right around the corner. That's really going to hinder Musos' ability to push up. And yeah, Flo's just established himself on this house area. Kalski, he tried to get a sneaky peek. Speaking of sneaky traps, onto Flo, but he didn't hit the shot. As you see, yeah, I think Rascals are really electing to just play a bit more passive here. They're only now re-establishing themselves onto the hill with Flo. This is a really bad spot. JD and his entire combo. Kalski takes the shot, Jesus Christ style, for his medic, as JD just barely skims out there.
Holy cow, man. That defense there, I really didn't think they'd be taking back that hill area. But they all walk forward at once and just frags coming out. Boom, 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 boom. They've just like pushed them all the way back to 1.
Yeah, I'd like to also comment that there's been a bit of a return to the meta. I think don't know, for whatever reason, like, engineers don't really run the rescue range, or like, at least they didn't, but it's good to see that, excuse me, it's good to see that Sexy Turtle has decided to run it, because it just gives you so much mobility. Like, he can build his gun at spawn and just literally rescue range it up to the hold, and that's what it's done. And they've just established themselves on the side of Rascals, like, so quickly on the hill.
Yeah, it's like a really solid hold here. We're seeing the usual sort of fighting here. Flo taking out Spurkle with a nice clean headshot down in that lower area. The Uber does come out of that like curvy, rampy. They come straight on through onto the defending team, but they just get absolutely dumped on. Bonk cleaning up JD on the tail end of it. A couple more frags coming out in the meantime, but it's looking pretty good for the Rascals team here as they defend this second point yet again with only 10 minutes and 45 seconds remaining on the clock already.
Yeah, I think Terrace, the little sleazy, slippery rat, he snuck in at the end there and he managed to get... it wasn't him that got JD, but like the pressure applied from him allowed Bonk to get the pick onto JD. So yeah, it's going to be an extra 40 seconds on the clock. Probably Maz gets picked on a bird. That's a really good pick to get the defenders pyro. Kind of eliminates all the airblasting presence. A few combo players going down. Zach getting flow. And yeah, I really like to see Musos kind of establish themselves onto this second. As yeah, they've gotten so much ground here. Can they seal out that capture point to finally cap out second?
And Muso's doing a good job all of a sudden of this sort of grindy playstyle that I've been talking about, where they just mince things. They just keep moving forward and mincing anything in their way. And they push themselves right on up onto this second point here, which is about to be capped. 9 minutes 45 left. Spent 4 minutes on this, I believe, if my mathematics are not awful. But we see them pushing through that house area. I've just choked on something.
Oh, Wally, best wishes for Snazzy as he recovers from his choking. But yep, Musos trying to push the infamously difficult third point here.
Sorry about that. Alright. I should never be eating while I cast. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I plead guilty to that one as well sometimes. But yeah, huge trade coming out of the side of Maz. He got so much ground before, like, oh, Centaur, you really hate to see it. Gets the sneaky pick onto JD in the backlines. But yeah, that trade was quite ambitious. I mean, I don't know how Maz got that much ground. Like, normally, your sniper should be able to force the Uber before like the blue team even leaves the house. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really seem like Musos really care. They're just like aggressing onto the hill without a care in the world of flow or any sort of pressure. Kelsey's a really good start when he misses the shot onto Bonk, unfortunately. That would have really opened things up for his team.
Yeah, that really would have gave him an entry there. But now they're staring down a little bit of a Uber this out as they push this cart straight on up. We're just seeing frags coming back and forth, really. Kelsey is really low, but he's trying to get some shots on. We do see the Uber actually get used on the side of the Rascal. I'm not actually certain what forced them there, because I assume it's a force. Like you wouldn't use there, would you?
Yeah, I'm not sure as well. Maybe it was Kelsey. He was like, oh, maybe it was the cart as well. Like, you're really like getting away with murder if Kelsey like go all the way onto the hill uncontested. I mean, he finally got pressured at the end, but we see the cap coming out. So I think off the back of that nice cart presence and sniper presence, Omni, what is
Omni
this?
manages to push all the way through up into that tiles area, cleans up Hal nice and early, and now his team has control of tiles. Arguably one of like the main things you're trying to do as an attacker. Pushing into last here, they've cleaned up a few players nice and early as well. They've maintained that tile hold already. Their team is just pushing that cart straight on through. They can't possibly get a gun up in time. They've lost their heavy as well. Dude, this is going to take a miracle for the Rascals.
This is so good from the side of Musos. They're completely like shining in the exact spot where their counterparts failed. They've just like coalesced so well in tiles and they cap it out.
With 6 minutes 50 left on the clock.
Jesus Christ. I mean, like, you talk about a show-up. Talk about a blow-up. That is an upset on the cards, and that is Musos proving that they are not here to play. Like, they're not here to play around. Jesus Christ.
That is unreal, bro. They leapfrogged it perfectly. They got a really great Uber on, cleaned up enough players, and they moved immediately. They rotated up to that tile area. And once they've got that, like, you have to get them out, or they're just going to have so much control over the last. That was unreal, man. They were so quick on the uptake.
An Omni. The little rat just sneaking in behind. I don't even know how he did this. I mean, you talk about ninja-neering, and then you talk about pyroneering, if that's even a word. Snuck in behind like your credit card debts as they just pile up one after another. Here's a side note. I think one of Bird's hard drives failed, and I think that was causing her to have a few issues, but should all be resolved now. We see a ready up from the side of blue. I think Rascals also readied up. So that is it. No break. We're not given any time to have a look at these logs or anything, so we're going to be rushed straight into the second half. Potentially second half, sorry, if Musos manage to close us out.
Yeah, far out, man. I'm really interested to see how this one's going to go, because that was such a magnificent push. So, I mean, we'll just have to see if they can do a little bit better this time and do better than that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a change-up because Rascals, Musos are now on blue, so they get the opportunity to set the pressure, set the time. Maybe they're going to do it a bit better than Rascals were able to do on that first push. But it's hard to say. I mean, like, I think we do have to give credit to the fact that there were a few, like, hardware technical issues that might have hindered their performance. So now that they're all settled, I'd like to see how much they stabilize off the back of that. See if their second place / experience mental shines through for them to come back in this map.
Yeah, so we're looking at the usual sort of sacks here. Bonk cleaning up the scout nice and early with a trap, but only picking up the scout. Not really super fantastic. We do see Zach worming his way in, but he collects a rocket. He's going to have to back off a little bit. He goes through that lower right area. I think he's been caught out. He has indeed. So no entry off of Zach there. JD staying in the spawn there, so I think we are about to see a sack wave here. Flo getting a nice big shot onto the mini sentry. Here comes the sack. Bonk cleans up Omni. The sack has just gone to custard. It's no good, mate. It's no good at all. Lev down really low on the flank there as well. He goes down, and that's going to be the end of that sack.
Total is... Oh my god, poor Zach and found out that Total did a really good job of shooting on the out of the sky. Like, sorry, is that the Turtle or Tokos? Like one of these kind of heavy / sentry duty classes was shut down on these jetpackers. Yeah, the silent victory though has been the cart presence. It's a really good cart presence. It's like all the way around the corner on the side of Musos. So, you know, regardless of whether they win or lose these sack waves, like that cart is just going to be a persistent victory.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that really matters when it comes down to it is how far the cart pushes along. And it is very far along, but they keep losing players as they're getting ready to use on in. Speaking of which, though, they do actually get their Uber in this time, and we see Bird there ready to counter it. Totally just air blast, and Maz really not having a great time on the Demoman class versus Fire. It's two frags either way, no real advantage on either side, but we do actually see the Musos taking quite a bit of ground, and the Rascals are backing out. The gun, I believe, actually went down in the middle of that, so Sexy Turtle set up a level 1 up on the hill now. He actually collects Maz with it, and then it goes down. But they're going to be ready to defend this second point. They are missing quite a few players, so if the Musos move quickly, they might be able to catch them out.
Yeah, I think Braylon, he was about to have quite a prolonged stay inside that tunnel, but he decides to back out wisely. Rascals are just seemingly recuperating outside the house on second. They didn't really elect to go for any aggressive defense as we just see Blue pushing this perfectly upstairs on the high ground. Then we go when they use it even really early. Just Tao, I was about to say, didn't even have his Uber. Really nice late use out of Tao, but I don't think it's going to matter. He's stuck in the open. Nearly got caught out there, but yeah, really good trade, and they're going to get the cap off the back of that. JD isolated. Terrace can't hit the shots in the end, but yeah, really good trade out of the side of like. Well, I was supposed to say, like, really good trade outside of both teams. I mean, like, Tal, he really delayed his views, but then again, I think, like, the flank of Musos really supported that push really well, getting that cap. In 2 minutes and 46 seconds, that is, like, a respectable time.
It's pretty speedy, man. I don't know. I think the reason that went so wrong for Tal and Co there was Tal got, like, sort of shoved off into that open area right off the bat. So by the time he even could use, which he held it for ages, it was a fantastic use in terms of that, they were just sort of not in a good spot to really do anything. But they are pretty keen on defending this third point. They don't have a gun up yet, which is going to put them in a bit of trouble, I think, perhaps. But no real push coming out yet. It is even Ubers so far. We're not seeing any eagerness necessarily on the side of the Musos to push here. I think they're just waiting for an opportunity to show up for them. Kowski clean up flow could be the entry that they're looking for. Centaur is behind them though. He might be able to make something happen. Yeah, here comes the Uber. So it looks like Kowski clean up flow was it. Bird there once again on Pyro to just totally stuff up the Uber. Again, it's a mechanic, you know. And we see the use of one of the banners. I didn't actually see which one, but it doesn't look like it's done very much. Sexy Turtles level 1 taking out 2 players in the middle of that fight right on the tail end of the Uber there. And that's going to be it for that push. They have got time to play with. Obviously, you know, running through those first 2 points in 2 minutes 46, but they're getting a bit stagnated here.
Yeah, I mean, Bonk was able to apply so much pressure at the tail end of that fight. I mean, like, good job to JD. He was, like, trying to bow as much as he could, but yeah. Zach, he's trying to do the Michael Jackson move backwards while looking forwards. I don't know what that was. Gets found out instantly as soon as he leaves the shithouse area. Musos really aggressive. They're just, like, balls to the wall. Go big or go home. And they're pressuring all the way up the hill, and they've just gotten off the back of that. Wow, no fear no fear of flow. They just, like, push all the way up, and now they're ready to push last.
Yeah, I mean, taking out the heavy in the demo puts them in such a good spot. Flow actually cleans up Maz, though, to stop them pushing directly into that tile area. I do see them pretty ready to push Typo up into that sort of, like, pseudo-tiley area, you know what I mean? Like, going through the staircasey bit there. But they do actually back out quite a little bit. Looking like they want to take it straight through that lower area. Bird is there to meet them with that Pyro one more time. It's doing a bit of a trade. We're seeing Bird meet him up. And, oh god, it's just... Oh, jeez. It's gone horrific. JD managing to get out by the skin of his teeth. And that's going to be it for that one.
Yeah, that's what you call a Pyro solo. I mean, like, I think Bird had, like, 3 or 4 seconds more Uber compared to Bird. But it's not going to... Like, I think, like, Musos are really being defined by they're just uncharacteristically aggressive pushes. Like, regardless of whether they get completely wiped or not, they just want to push instantaneously. Always apply pressure onto Rascals. Yeah, I think the other interesting thing I wanted to point out was Lizard. He's trying to leverage a little, like, original spam shot through the floorboard there. I don't think he was able to quite get it, but we see a push attempting to be geared up on the side of Musos from under.
Yeah, they're looking to do it one more time. They're ready there. Lizard Wizard actually nice and deep. Cleans up Flow really early. Don't think he got the force, which would have been the intention there. Tal using a bit of flashing going on. Bird there to meet one more time. You see the banner get used on the side of the defending team. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 frags right off the bat.
Omni!
That's 6.
That was dangerous. Sorry, Omni, that was dangerous. I mean, it was a Pyro versus Soldier on the cart. That could have ended really badly. I think Omni managed to hold off Raylan, but wasn't able to reflect Bonk. In the midst of all that amazing Centaur chain stab. Sorry about that. They got the cart so far up. I mean, look at it. It's like about to tip in.
Oh, yeah, it's
I'm
right
really interested to see. Oh my god, Maz and the blue combo gets so much pressure. Tal gets taken down. So many combo plays falling on the side of Rascals, and yeah, Maz and Co are just trying to coalesce upstairs in tiles. No fear of Tal. They're getting so much card presence. Are they going to be able to cap this in? Oh my god, such good pressure from the explosive classes of Rascals. Bonk and Raylan teaming up to get so many frags, but we're just seeing, like, coast-to-coast pressure. As you see Spurkle with the Frontier Justice, Uncle Dane style, caps it out. No one able to bomb onto the cart. 7 minutes and 48 seconds. I think that was like about the same as their time on the first half.
I think it was like 8 minutes 30. I really should. My short-term memory is not working out for me, oh man. But yeah, I mean that's a pretty good time. Wait, no, which team was which? It was the 30-minute time, yeah?
Yeah. So I think just before that first half, Rascals were the first to push with that 13-minute time, and then Musos closing it out in that like lightning round. I don't think, however, that Rascals are out of it. They're a really competent team, and I think they still have it in them to kind of fully wipe this map. 7 minutes and 48 is a really good time, but I have seen Rascals do better. I'm not ready to kind of call it out here as a Musos victory.
Yeah? That's good to hear, man, because I like to see a little bit of back and forth. But we're looking like we're going live now. The game has begun. The usual sort of looking stuff here. Centaur worming his way forward. Bonk sort of ready to get a bit of a sack in. I believe he had a bit of damage, which is going to slow him down. And here comes the sack. A nice big double sticky jump. Centaur right deep onto Spurkle nice and early. Taking out that sentry gun. JD dying as well. Holy cow.
The revolver at the tail end of that fight. That was like pretty much the most perfect sack wave you could ask for. I mean, Spurkle got taken down by Centaur, and Centaur lived the whole time to get the pistol kill onto JD. A perfect sack attempt from the side of Rascals.
I mean, I don't think the sack could have possibly gone better for them. Taking out the sentry and the med nice and early. They're looking like they want to push forward until Kowski takes out Bonk. They can afford to wait for the spawns, the ad that they're looking at here. So I think they'll probably just wait for Bonk to come on forward and then use straight on into this second point. It should be a relatively free point for them, man.
Yeah, I mean, Float. They tend to be a one-man army just trying to snipe on the hill. Doesn't really get much for his efforts there, as we see Red just kind of backing away into this corner here, much like Rascals did. The gun goes down. I think they're about to give it up. They get the force out of Tal. That's really good. JD getting out is like safe and sound, and yeah. So in about 1 minute, first two capture points have been set. But what's this? I really like the look of this.
It's a counter push. They lose the heavy though. Oh, they don't have Uber just yet. Yeah, they have to back out. They can't fight that without the full Uber. There is no way they could fight that.
If they had the Uber there, that would have been like monumental to delay the kind of like forward momentum of Rascals. Yeah, we see 5 minutes and 50 seconds, a lightning response. They really wanting to get these revenge rounds. Bonk so low. Lizard Wizard gets fended off by the reflexive bird, as we see Rascals just trying to pressure. They've got their sniper up on the bridge, and they've got their combo pushing down from the hill. Flo takes out Maz. That's going to be a cornerstone pick to remove the defense on the side of Musos. Yeah, so much pressure coming out, so many picks coming out. JD getting forced onto a Scout and Pyro Uber. He's going to be forced to just back out at the tail end of that trade.
Yeah, it's such frenetic fighting. They're all getting directly into each other's grills. But it does look like the attacking team, Rascals, have managed to pick up this third point. They're pushing that card on up now. They haven't managed to collect any sort of like super strategic ground just yet. However, they've got some frags coming through. Zach doing his bit to slow him down a bit by taking down Bonk. Nice and early into their sort of attempt to push there. But that's going to slow them down. We're going to be looking at even Ubers. It's probably going to be the usual sort of grindy last push with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock to collect this one for their team on Rascals.
Yeah, I mean, Zach got a really nice pick onto Bone. Like you said, I think that's going to delay the push of Rascals. Even Uber situation, and they have 4 minutes, so about like 6 Ubers, I'd say. 6 Uber trades to try get a push onto the last, and defended here by Musos. They're just looking to gear up under. I hope Maz doesn't get any of these god traps. Get in. Tell such an early force. Has JD even used yet? Jesus Christ.
Nope.
How did he force so early? I think he probably had a bit of trauma from that drop beforehand. That kind of uber. Finally, the tail end of that fight, the force comes out on the side of JD. It's going to be a slight bit of disab compared to Tal. I think it's going to materialize. Only 20% ad. I don't think Tal's going to build it that religiously or like use it. I say that, and I think I'm about to eat my words. As Rascals are really gearing to look to go under here, but there's so much collective pressure, such good pressure here from the side of Raylan and Tokos teaming up to try to take the corridor, but they couldn't get much for their troubles as we see Zach trying to get a Tal. Again, flashbacks to the first half. He gets taken out by Maz. You really hate to see it, and that's just going to add more time to the clock of Musos as they defend. I really think there's going to be some magic that's going to need to come out here. Maybe from Centaur, maybe from Flo, maybe from Raylan. Just someone to get a force onto JD. Because I feel as if we just do the avenue of like sitting here and wasting 40 seconds, they're going to lose so much momentum going into this last.
Yeah, I mean, the momentum's going to be dangerous, but the mere fact is only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. They just lost 2 players as they were getting ready to push there. It's just not looking good for them. Like 2 minutes and 30 seconds it's a bit of time to play with, but it's not really enough to make anything specifically happen. We do see Centaur trying to make some things happen himself. He gets taken out. So it's just going to be a reset. They've almost got this Uber now. Zach is behind them. He might be able to really slow them down or just ruin their push entirely if he gets the right stab here. He has been caught out though, so they know he's back there. And they're looking for him pretty desperately. They're taking that Uber straight through the lower area again. He does use nice and early. JD hanging on to that stuff. The Pyro is there just to stop that.
Again, delete this mechanic. I mean, like, they get the force out finally, but Omni, he just stands in the dispenser, stands in the corner, and defends the entire push out of the side of Rascals. Is Centaur going to be able to sneakily get Naz? He's not. And I think that's just the summary of this push. I mean, like, Musos had their full ad, Maz was just able to peek around the corner. He got like 2 picks onto Bonk and Flo, like completely unaccounted for, like just to the right hand side from the perspective of Rascals. So yeah, 1 minute 20. This is not looking good. This is do or die, or it's going to map 2 for the side of Musos here.
I gotta tell you, man, I mean, there's that classic sort of did I ever tell you the definition of insanity thing? They keep doing the same push every time, direct into the Pyro, and it keeps going forward. They've got the heavy with them this time to try and make something happen. Toko's there, trying to get a lot of damage. Typo down really, really low. He does not die just yet. JD actually dying on 97%. That could be it. 40 seconds left on the clock. They've got a lot of frags. Only 4 players left alive on the defending team. 3 players left alive. Onto the card.
Oh my god!
What a class Pyro is, man. The push is still going. There's next to no one left alive on the defending team. 30 seconds left on the clock to push their sexy turtles onto it. It's so close. He's putting down that mini sentry. The scout's there to meet him. There's a little bit of play around on the side of the attacking team. Rascals walking straight back in, doing everything they can to make this happen in the last 10 seconds.
I think they're going to clutch it up. I think they're going to get it.
Again, though. Oh my god, this is so scrappy.
Sexy turtle versus lizard. And
oh
my god. I have to know, like, I was watching Omni that whole time. Like, he played his, like, everything perfectly. Like,
that was unreal, man. Because that was such a gone game. Like, they had done it. And then Omni just walks out and ruins it for him. That was like unreal. I don't know. I mean, I feel for them. I feel some sympathy, but not a lot. I gotta be honest. I'm not seeing a lot that's especially worth talking about. This is a combined log from both of those there. We do see Lev taking out the top of the kill count with 37. He does go 34 as well, so that's only a 1.1 KD. Bonk it up doing 422 DPM. Unlucky, bro. You were almost on 420, but not quite there. Maz with 347, so a bit of a difference there, but really not worth talking about too much, I guess.
I don't really want to hinder on these logs for that long because I think both teams are just ready to get back into the action.
Oh, mate, I'm very excited. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going live. We're on to warm tick now. We're going to have to see if the Musos can bring it back. They sort of posture off against each other so far. Nothing really happening. Lev getting in really, really deep on Scout. He gets a little bit of damage on the tail, but he backs on out before he loses his life for it. Just the usual sort of setup so far. Nothing really crazy going on. Zach getting a stab onto Flo actually might give them the room that they need, especially with Lizard with taking out Centaur at the same time. They are walking forward onto that point. Omni's there with his air blast. I guess he's known for it now after that last map. Stopping all the spam rockets coming in. But they're just edging the point so far. No real damage until Kalski takes out Tal with a fat headshot. And Zach stabbing Tokos as well is definitely going to give them what they need to push in here. Turris trying to get in through that lower area. He does clean up Sparkle, but he dies for it. And JD hanging on to that Uber. There's that spy behind. We're going to see if Centaur can make it happen. Boy, that was a slow burn, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was so crucial. Like, I really respect the kind of discipline that Musos had. Like, they weren't just happy to like take the point and whatnot. Like, they held sightlines the whole time. Like, I think Bonk was about to go into sack, but Kalski just stopped it at the end to stop any form of like hero / clutch play coming out the end there. Really interesting decision. Musos have just rascals have just completely pushed onto the point. They forced out the Uber, but I don't know how they just got away with walking into the point with this ad. In the midst of all that, getting JD down so low, they got the force out of him, and that's surely going to trigger the repush from the side of Rascals.
I mean, you certainly would hope so, especially given they have that faster spawn while the point's not in their favour here. Especially now that they're looking at around about 70, 80 ad. Walking forward, trying to make some stuff happen. Centaur getting a stab on Kalski, ruining that chance to sort of like use that sniper to slow down the push here or really abort it entirely. Bonk actually dying on the point. There's no excuse for that when you're using Uberad to push the point, guys. What's going on? They've backed off. I'm so lost. They're edging the point a little bit more. Bird getting up there, trying to get the cap. Why haven't they? Do they not know it's ad?
I'm a bit confused as well. I mean, Raylan is going in for a delayed bomb now, but it's not really going to be of much use when, your Demon Man's full and Kalski takes out Tokos in this top right. They're finally going to be able to... No! I can't even finish that sentence. They're not going to finally be able to cap. Maz and Co decide to come out onto the point, in fourth, to stall the cap. Maz is so hurt. There's no way he lives. It's just tucked away in the corner on 50 healthy. And Centaur misses a stab onto Maz. So much pressure being applied from both Demo Men. And I think finally, after 2 minutes and 3 seconds, 2 minutes and 4 seconds, 2 minutes and 6 seconds, Rascals finally capture the point.
Yeah, I mean, I was so lost on what was going on with that ad there, but in any case, they've managed to collect the point now. They have returned it into their grubby little mitts. Well, not even returned it. They finally put it into their grubby little mitts. And we see a bit of playing going on. Nothing too crazy. Zach goes in for a stab. He does actually flub it. Centaur takes out Kalski on the far side while that happens as well. The frags are happening, but it looks like it's going the way of the Rascals here. The point does get recapped, slowing down those spawns for Rascals. They really should have waited till their players spawned to cap that there. I know they were edging it, but oh boy, that's going to put them in a bad spot. And we're actually going to see the Rascals recap this one nice and quickly. They do have a little bit of ad again, but it's probably not usable unless JD comes forward. So I think we'll be looking at a nice even Uber reset while the timer keeps on running down.
Yeah, good job there from Lev. He was just a silent star of that entire... Like, I don't know how the man just lived on like 30 health and he was capped. He was just standing still by the crate. I think Raylan tried to finally bomb in and get him, but he didn't even get him. Like, Raylan got down to 2 health as we see the Uber comes down and forth. Maz gets so much pressure. As we see Bird trying to retaliate with an air blast, a bit more of a defensive Uber. As you see, yeah, both teams just backing off now, coalescing around their mid, fending off from sack plays. Raylan trying to sack, not going to get anything. Stantar's trying to sack to coordinate with them, not going to get anything. As we see, Musos just re-establishing themselves onto the point. I can't even speak. Sorry, you're going to have to take it away for a second.
That's alright. Musos actually played that fight pretty well, I thought, because they waited until Bonk got stabbed and then they pushed pretty much immediately while there was no damage to really face them there. Gave him a pretty good push, but it does look like it's gone back the other way now. We're sort of leapfrogging back and forth across the point. So far, we're watching the Rascals recap this one. 13 seconds left on the clock for the Musos, which is dangerous, to say the very least, for Rascals. They have managed to recap it. They're bringing that time a little bit down, but really, if you're Musos, you're totally happy until Centaur stabs JD.
Such a good opening, like no one saw him, he just creeped up. I don't think he's able to get the cap here. I mean, like so many like Musos players are falling as the time is really starting to even out from the side of Rascals here. Flo gets the pick onto Kalski. As you see, the hold finally going to get re-established after a really slow start from Rascals.
Yeah, man. The Rascals are slowly bringing this time down. They need to be really careful about people edging this point here. I think they should maybe try to get a little bit more aggressive, but they're actually playing a bit safer. Zach in so deep. Stabs Flo, turns around and like trick stabs Tal. I didn't even see. It looked like a face stab. I was looking at it from bird's eye, man. They were staring at each other in the eyes. It was intimate.
No, well, I don't know. Bonk on 19 HP in the midst of all that. He tried to hold it off as a one-man army, and he nearly did it before he gets cleaned up. 30 seconds on the side of Rascals compared to 8 seconds on the side of Musos. I think we're going to see a Musos cap here. Typho playing in such a dominant position upstairs.
Oh, dude, I think if Musos cap this, it's over. Yeah, there's no way.
That is such a dominant position from those heavies. Like, it's like so hard, apart from anyone apart from the sniper, to kind of pressure that heavy off. Yeah, we see that first round coming down to the wire of like pretty much like a 6-minute round. I don't think Rascals are going to be dejected. They're going to be thinking about how can we dominate? How can we instead be the team that starts off with that 2-minute cap advantage?
Yeah, Typo's really putting work in getting into that top area. It looks like he goes up there almost immediately this round. He's doing a good job up there. It is a bit of a face-off across the point so far. Centaur is behind and Zach is down. Lev actually takes out Flo, which is going to give them, good lord, pardon me, some time to sort of get forward and poke their heads out a little bit more without fear of having them taken off almost immediately. Centaur gets up behind, cleans up Kalski, tries to get something onto Typo, doesn't manage to get it. So that's going to turn it back the other way around now. We're actually going to see the Rascals having to keep their heads down. Being able to poke their heads out.
But no, at the tail end of that, the Musos pressure comes back to steal the point. It was like I wouldn't say it was like about 80% cap, but they managed to clutch it out at the tail end of that fight. Raylan did a really good job of putting so much like spam pressure onto Musos, but he got cleaned up in the very end. We just see we see the trades coming out. Both teams being absolutely ruthless, not wanting to give up this first capture point at all costs. I think after seeing how pivotal it was on the last mid fight, so many players falling for both teams. Sorry, I'm gonna get my P's and my S's straight as we see finally Lev clutching it out for his team.
Flo's got a fantastic sightline onto Tal, though. Not quite... JD, not Tal. Just able to almost get the shot. Not quite enough to make it happen. Typo really is putting in work in that top area. He has actually dropped down right now out of necessity. The rest of his team was down. He tried to get down to his med. Lev going straight on in.
Just going in for the idiot kind of insect scout play. Couldn't get it in the very end, but are we finally going to see a cap out of the side of Rascals? They're all taking so much damage, but Taurus, really good job of just pressuring the cap. Maz gets the fadeaway pick off the Bonk, and that is probably the worst sequence of events that you could wish for. Med stuck out in the corner, locked down by a sightline. Demo Man on a long respawn queue after just having captured the point. This is not looking good here from the side of Rascals.
Yeah, Muso's able to push this up really, really easily here. They're cleaning up players, doing quite a bit of damage. Bird taking a headshot there, managing to stay alive. Sexy Hurdle going down. We do see Centaur worming his way behind. Turris going down as well. Centaur really the only player here in a position to make anything happen as we see Lizard get in so deep and get that force. Bonk it up going straight on in. He's going to get minced, man. That was... You can't do that, bro.
Oh, Lizard, he was in the right place at the right time. Jesus Christ. Centaur, they're going in for a sack play here. They're going to force it from JD. That's a really good effort. They just kind of not lose their focus and say, let's look at the bigger picture. Let's consider the next Uber trade. We lost this one. Let's look forward. And what's that going to net? What is that going to net Tal? He's only here. He's going to be about a 36. Yeah, about a 20 add. And they're going to be able to hopefully recuperate. Taras, he gets taken down so low while he tries to pressure the point through his troubles.
Yeah, Zach's in behind still. I'm interested to see if he's going to really make something happen here. He's playing it nice and slow, waiting for an opportunity to make his move and get a frag here. But we're not seeing a hell of a lot happening just yet. Oh, never mind. We did see Flo take out a player at the same time as Centaur did. So that's 2 frags the way of the Rascals. 3 frags now as they take out Zach as well. 4 frags, they take out Spurkle. This is giving them such a great player advantage, and they still have this Uber out. Lev gets in behind. He doesn't actually manage to make anything happen other than to block the point for a mere moment, and the point is going to go back the way of the Rascals. 2 minutes 30 left on the clock for them versus 50 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Lev got so deep. Oh my god, Maz got taken down to 30 HP, but he finally gets used on by JD. I think the trade is just going to even out here. Omni getting taken down, taken into the sky, so not taken down. As we see, oh my god, Centaur! Is Centaur nearly just like escaped the clutches of Omni, but Omni finally finds him in the tail end of that fight. Flo has a really good start when he misses the shot onto Kowski. There's too much pressure. Raylan spamming down from the top, raining down those rockets. As you see, yeah, I think finally Musos are going to be able to coalesce onto the point here. As we see, Toko is getting such good pressure onto Maz, gets that pick in the very end, and I think they are going to barely cap it out at the tail end of that fight.
Yeah, they managed to cap it out. 40 seconds left on the clock for them. You have to be feeling the pressure if you're the Rascals here. They do have a few frags on the side of the Rascals, but they're getting forward to recap it. Omni just walks forward with that pyro. Does quite a bit of damage to all the players that had gotten onto the point. Poco's really trying to cap on that point there. Centaur going down underneath. In the meantime, Lev actually doing his thing, walking on in, getting a bit of damage, taking out Toko. They've managed to hang on to this point with only 16 seconds left on the clock. Lev getting in behind. He's getting quite a bit of damage on. They're dropping players like flies, and Kowski takes out Tal with a fat headshot to ruin that Uber. No chance to defend that one now with the Uber. The Uber gets used on the point by the side of Musos. It's going on down. It's overtime. The point is slowly becoming uncapped. Centaur gets up onto that high ground, but he's not there in time. And that's it. 2 rounds to what do you call them? Musos.
Musos. I mean, they're really channeling the inner NRMA. What's that American organization? The NRA. Off my cold, dead hands. They did not give up that point for anything. I mean, like, even at, like, such big player disadvantage, they just held it. Like, Spurkle with his mini Tokos, playing pressure from, not Tokos, sorry, Typo playing pressure from upstairs. They held that point. They really got rewarded for it at the tail end of that fight.
Yeah, they really did a good job of just hanging onto that ground and making it work for them. Looking at this one, though, I mean, look, there's not a heck of a lot happening. Some players going down. Tokwa is a pretty crucial pick there, actually. I think that'll give them just all they need to actually get in there, and they get in nice and deep. They clean up Tal.
Yeah, I think Omni, I don't know if he's looking at him directly, but look, Centaur, as we said, that he manages to get a pick on Kowski in the midst of all that.
Yeah, and Maz going down. Taras actually able to turn around and frag him up. We do see Flo coming through with a quick frag onto Omni as well. That's going to slow down the cap here. Typo's sitting on that point there. He's waiting. He's trying to edge it. Gets the cap off in the end. And the timer begins to run down. We do see the Rascals players coming forward, trying to do something to make it come back their way. JD's getting ready, though, with his Uber. They're actually walking straight through that lower area. Centaur's behind them. They have used, it's just JD and Lev. They're in nice and deep. They clean up one player, Tokos, I believe, and they also get Tal. And that is just enough to put it back in their hands for a fairly permanent sort of position, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good Uber out of the side of Musos. Like, I think the other thing is that they kind of knew, hey, let's not just pretend we're invincible forever. Let's get out early. They did get out early after they got Tal off the back of that. So yeah, they're just going to be recuperating on, like, just behind their own blue crate here. you hate to see it. Literally just hunting down center. You see Maz just sinking like the world's dickies onto Bonk. A bit of pressure being applied here from Rascals, as you see Bonk going down again, and Turris trying to get any form of point presence that they can, but unfortunately getting taken down for their trouble. Such good pressure from the side of Musos here.
Yeah, Muso's definitely pressuring really hard. The pause actually just happened then, so not really sure what happened, but I don't think it was tactical of any variety. They sort of lost 2 players and then had to have a quick pause. But we see Centaur cleaning up Spurkle, which means there's no engineer on the side of the Musos, but Engi's not such a big class on this map. We do see a lot of aggression. Bonk walking straight forward onto the point. Zach getting the stab onto Flo, but in the meantime, the Uber comes out of JD on Maz. It's not really enough to make anything happen. JD actually goes down on the tail end of that Uber. The post Uber was just
picks up Tower at the end of all that.
Did he? Oh my god, he did too. And they clean up Tokos and Bonk, the only players left forward in the end there to try and return things. And it's 40 seconds left versus 3 full minutes for Rascals.
I was about to commend Raylan and Centaur. They coordinated so well to get that pick onto JD. I mean, that's often like the perfect tag team. You know, one person that can like force a medical and the other one with like a perfectly precise like pistol to kind of finish off the frag. But yeah, unfortunately, things not going in their favor. As we see, Rascals trying to pressure in now. They did not. They shut down the sack wave from Lev like really nicely. See, he pressures Bonk out so well. Like that's not something you see that often. Engineer managing to pressure out a demo. He gets Bonk in the midst of all that. The silent assassin. And
oh my
god, Zach getting the trick stab onto Bird. Bird coming with a lol. Okay, the Uber charge coming out. Rascals, they're not even going to be able to cap it out in this 3rd and final round. Jesus Christ.
Dude, they just deconstructed those guys, man. They actually took them apart. Like right in that last fight there, they just deleted people. Full 3-minute cap.
Musos take this in 2 maps, pulling off a stellar upset. I mean, you talk about revenge. Some people say revenge is sweet. I think it's better than sweet. Musos really dipping into the sugar. And they've really turned the tables. And that's going to be their ticket into the chocolate factory, into grand finals.
But we do have the logs coming up, I believe, on the stream. Just having a quick gander at these. Zach coming through the solid 602 deeps on Spy. Obviously, quite a few backstabs. 22 kills with the big earner that game. That's unreal. The logs kind of show what we saw. I mean, when you sort by damage, when you sort by kills, you see a few more blue players at the top than you do see red ones. We've got a couple things that I've got to plug real quick before I pop out the last shout out. So just to plug those ones, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell our lovely viewers about the ways they can find us. You can obviously find us here on Twitch, and there is also a YouTube channel where you'll be able to find most of the VODs from this one. There is, of course, the ability to subscribe on Twitch here. If you've got Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime, that's a free one for you. There are some other ways you can support us. There's also the Patreon you can get on there, and it'll definitely do a lot to make things work around here to keep us going. And there's also merch. Merch, ladies and gentlemen. You can get onto the merch. Oh. There's all sorts of merch that you can get onto. Shirts and mugs and stickers and all sorts of stuff. It's very, very good stuff. But that is about it for the things that I have to plug. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the last shout out of the night, as per always, it's you, the viewers. Thanks for coming. It's been great having you. I'll be looking forward to seeing you on the next one. And I hope you all had a good time.
There goes. Hi, old beaver! Away!